Alright, what's up everybody? This video is about the new version of the app, AudioSlice, formerly known as VJ Lab, which is a real-time stem splitter that takes in music and helps you output in real time different visuals using TouchDesigner, Resolume, Mapper, what have you. But it's great because now we're on Windows. And we know a lot of people have been asking for this because you don't want to lug the Mac to the gig as well. And a lot of most professional VJs we found, especially in the Resolume world, tend to be on Windows because they like NVIDIA or they just need more horsepower. So this video is for you. And the app will be just the same on Mac. We have a cross-platform app, and it'll also work just like the Mac app if you guys are familiar with that, if you're coming from there. But if not, it's totally cool. I'll explain how it works. Before we get into AudioSlice, which is this cool app, and how it works to send OSC messages upon things happening with music, like this, for example.
Everybody in my section.
Let's talk audio routing for Windows because it's a little different than on Mac. So, over here you've got things that output audio. At a gig, it's going to be this guy on the bottom. You're going to probably have an audio interface from in the front of house from your sound guy, or maybe you're doing it yourself and you're just routing an extra line from the booth output of your mixer, or you've got another output from your RX2 or whatever it might be. But when you're at home working on these things, or you're just trying to prototype things and understand it, this might be a browser. You might be playing from YouTube like I was just now. Or it might be from Spotify, or you might be playing an MP3 through something like VLC. Could even be Ableton. Really could be anything. In our setup that we're recommending, which is what this picture is, I recommend using this free app called Voicemeeter, specifically Voicemeeter Banana, as well as Cable. Both of them are by the same company, VB Audio. So Voicemeeter Banana, as you can see, if you just Google it, it's really easy. You're just going to click, download, run it. Make sure to run in administrator mode, but they're both free. VB Cable is a virtual audio device, and it's kind of this pipe through which audio flows, and out the other side, other apps can use it. Whereas Voicemeeter Banana lets us do the kind of cool thing of when we're listening to the audio, we want to be able to hear it through our headphones or speakers, but also send it to Cable and get it in our other apps. Now, once it's in Cable, the music, right, other applications like TouchDesigner can use it, Resolume can use it, and of course, our new thing, AudioSlice, formerly known as VJ Lab, which is going to split these stems in real time, understand beats, and so on and so forth, and send out OSC messages that will allow you to make clips in Resolume do things, or change the size of various things in your tops and or pops in TouchDesigner, what have you. So that's the rough thing. Let's look at how we actually do this. Let's go on down, bottom left. If you right click on the little sound icon, you click sound settings. And again, the easiest way, the way I'm going to recommend doing this is in output. You're going to select Voicemeeter input. And then for input, or rather, I like to think of it as recording, right? You're going to select Cable output. And that's just saying, by default, where do applications look to get audio, right? Now, I'll show you can kind of select these manually if you want in the app that's getting it, but this is how it generally will work. So as an example, let's just look first at TouchDesigner, just to make sure that things are working. TouchDesigner. Okay, so basically if you have an audio device in, if I go ahead and I play this, cool. And it's because it's using the default device, which is Cable, right? If I were to select a different one, it wouldn't work. A microphone would clap, but that's not what we want. We want that good. We also have this little talks that you can drag in that you get when you download AudioSlice, and it's super, super easy to see what's going on. Inside of it, you're going to be able to see what's being output. And you can, of course, drag anything from this chop to different parameters and map them. So great, it looks like our audio is working. We've set this up. And the way that we've done it in Voicemeeter Banana is, the main thing is when you open this up, you're going to make sure that Voicemeeter input is right here, right? Voicemeeter input, that's what we set in our Windows settings, if you remember. Boom, that's where things go. And we just want to make sure that we select A1 and A2, which are these two hardware outs, right? A1, we'd select, say, headphones, right? And if you want to remove it, you can remove it, but that's what we'd select it. And then there's the cable input, which where we also want to output these things to, right? That's the first part of the tube in this diagram, right? And so when that happens, basically when we play music, it's going to not only be output to the headphones, or in my case, oh yeah, I didn't say headphones, but I could also show some speakers here if I want. If I want to come out my speakers, I can do that. But since I'm recording on OBS, yeah, maybe I don't want to do that. But then the cable, right, the output is where we can look, and that's just what we saw in TouchDesigner is going on, is that we're using that cable output. Or in this case, the default is the same thing. And that's really it. The one thing to be aware of is that when you exit out of Voicemeeter Banana, this mapping will no longer happen. So you'll just have to go back into your sound settings, and you would say, oh, now I actually just want to hear it out of, say, my speakers. Right? Because if the Voicemeeter app is not on, it is not mapping those, or routing, rather, those audio streams. Just so you know. Freeware, very easy to download, very easy to set up. Feel free to take a screenshot of this. Feel free to ask questions. We are happy to help. So let's now see the thing work. We've got the audio routing set up. We saw it in TouchDesigner, but what happens in AudioSlice? So if we start up the AudioSlice app, and that's just basically clicking and opening the .exe file that we send you, the most important thing you're going to first go to is audio settings and make sure that that is working. And in this case, we've already got it set to the right one. Well, let's say we didn't. Let's say we actually had it as the microphone, which you can do, and you can see the sound levels here. But again, at a gig, I would not recommend this. The audio splitting neural network works a lot better if you have the clean audio. So in this case, we select cable output. And if we play this again,
Everybody in my section.
One thing, I guess I made this really for myself. You do need the Voicemeeter app open, like I said. But also, if you do change these, like if I were to change headphones to speakers or something like cable input, you may find that you need to restart, like you may need to reload a page, or you may need to like press play again on MP3 because you're messing with the audio engine of Windows, and it just has to send things to the right place. But since I started up Voicemeeter again, if I click this, we should get that sound, and we should see the audio meters here, and if I go home, I should be able to see, great, we are getting audio into AudioSlice. And if I go here, into outputs, and I expand one of our network outputs, awesome. We are seeing live splitting happen. If I stop, you can stop here. I can also disable them one by one with disabled check marks, which is super nifty. We didn't have that in the last version. But we also have the ability to label things, like I can write myself a little note about what's going on. And yes, to everyone who asked, you can see super, super long OSC paths. So especially in Resolume, we know this is a pain. and before it would cut it off, you can see the whole path now. Another thing, obviously, is smoothing. For those of you who are familiar with it, but if you haven't used it, basically one way to sort of have this bass, for example, sort of decay more slowly and rise more slowly, you can have a longer smoothing. Let's look at it on drums so we can understand it a bit better. However, I would suggest on drums you have a quicker transient, or smoothing rather, because again, they're drums. They're quick. But yeah, that's how you set things up. If you want to add another one, you can add another one. You can change which stem it's using, so on and so forth. You can delete them with that trash icon. And don't forget also that you can change the output range. So by default, everything that we're detecting, the maximum value at the top is 1 and the bottom is 0. But if you'd like to scale that to something different, maybe you want it to be in TouchDesigner 0 to 100, or 0.3 to 1.1, you can do that. I would caution you that in Resolume, which I'm going to show you this setup here, that's going to be basically most everything there takes 0 to 1. But it's easy to do. So for example, if we had another Resolume instance, I'm just going to delete this output, you can just create another one here. And this could be Resolume Computer 2. And if you click the edit button, you can change that. Maybe that's port 123, maybe that's IP address 10.10.100.0.123. And I always change this send every to be like 11 milliseconds, because that's the fastest that the model can react. Yeah, we don't support other protocols other than OSC, but maybe sometime in the future we'll have DMX or ArtNet. For now, stick with that, and let's show you a little bit of Resolume of what we're doing, because that's how a lot of people are going to use this. So let's go into Resolume, and we'll see kind of what I've got set up and how that's working. So this is just the demo project. Don't get too super excited about how it will look, but let's talk through a little bit of like what we're doing here. So first thing you're going to want to do in Arena, obviously, is go to Preferences and make sure that under the OSC tab, you've got OSC input marked. And you're going to take notice of this IP address and the port that it expects it on. And in AudioSlice, obviously, you want to make sure that that is the same. So for Resolume, we've got 7000, and this is a special IP address that means localhost, but you could very easily, put 168, blah, 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 whatever it says in Resolume. And this is helpful if, say, at front of house, you've got, say, like a network switch, and, you're trying to send it between computers or something like that. You can put in another address from a different computer. But if you are sending it to a TouchDesigner or a Arena or whatever, and it's on the same computer, just use 127.0.0.1. Easy. Let's see what we're doing. So again, once we've got that set up, a lot of you might be familiar with using FFTs or other things, but you're trying to adjust these lanes, and it gets really sort of tedious. If we're trying to do that, for example, if we were to look at, let's just look at a different position. I don't know why we do that, but external FFT. And you're always adjusting these bands to try and get, the right section or whatever. And this is going to change from song to song. And so it's just really difficult to do correctly. So what we've tried to do with AudioSlice is to make this easier, so that instead of adjusting to try to find where the kick is in your FFT and like what bands it are, and as the song changes, that are in a different range or a different key, you can just let this program and this neural network that we've trained figure that out for you and make things happen in Resolume. So the way that you do that specifically is Control-Shift-O, or if you want to do View, you can do View and is it View? Where is it? Shortcuts, sorry, Edit OSC, Control-Shift-O, boom. Now anything you click on, you're going to see over on the bottom right the OSC address for that. It's called this thing, and it's going to tell you what format that you're going to output as well. Right now we work best with the floats, so if you see float 0 to 1, that's going to be in that range. So for example, what you can see is this opacity one, right, and this is for layer 1. And you can see you can do selected layer, but I choose this specific one. And if you copy and paste that, which I've already done, right, you can see, oh, we've got drums affecting the opacity of layer 1's video, whichever video clip is selected. And we're going to be changing that between 0 and 1. So if we play the music again, you can see that we're actually doing that. The opacity is moving like that. And you can see we're also messing with rotation. And we're messing with the speed of this other clip. Right? The clip is actually a clip on layer 3. And the way that we're doing that is, again, just with an OSC path, adjust our smoothing. We've said, oh, we want it to go from 0.2 to 0.4, right? Because the speed, maybe we don't want it ever to go down to 0, because if that happens, the video stops and that looks not great. And then the rotation, we're saying 0.0 to 0.1, which again, you have to remember these values in Resolume, for example, take the value 0 to 1, but what it actually means on the other end is going to be, something a little different. So here the rotation is, if it's 0, it's outputting negative 180, so on and so forth. So you can just play with, what kind of values look great here. And that's pretty much how it works. So whether you're in TouchDesigner and you're trying to modulate, something there.
Everybody in my section.
You can just map things. Anything in your project. And you can do it as well in things like Resolume, Mad Mapper, VideoMax, anything that takes OSC. So yeah, that is our new Windows app, and I hope this was a useful tutorial. Please hit us up if you have questions. If you want to use this on Mac, if you want to use it on Windows, it works on all platforms, and it is extremely efficient. You can see the CPU usage never goes higher than 20%, and that's even with all this other crap that I've got running all at the same time. It does not use your GPU, so if you're doing intense things with TouchDesigner or NVIDIA or something crazy, you don't have to worry because it only runs on the CPU. It's very, very fast, very, very efficient, and very low memory overhead. Right, we're hovering around 200 megabytes, which is way less than OBS or Firefox. So we hope you love it. We've worked really hard on this, and yeah, please let us know if you are interested in using this, beta testing it, helping us squash bugs, or just using it at a show near you, run by you, wherever. So thanks so much, guys, and if you have any questions, let me know. We are more than happy to help.